In a quiet village called Yamunz, there lived a sweet girl named Adora. She was only 15, but her heart was big. Adora didn't have much, but she always shared what she had. Her best friend, Ngozi, loved to wear shiny shoes and laugh at people who looked poor or dirty. One sunny morning, Adora and Ngozi were walking back from the stream with heavy water pots on their heads. As they walked past the big market road, they saw something strange. An old woman was kneeling by the roadside. Her basket had broken, and oranges were rolling everywhere. "Please, my daughters," the old woman said with a tired voice. "Help me pick these oranges. My back is not strong." Ngozi turned her face away. "Yuck! Her wrapper is dusty, and her hands look scary," she whispered. "Let's keep walking. We are not beggars." But Adora stopped. She dropped her water pot and ran to help. One by one, she picked the oranges and put them in the old woman's sack. She even gave the woman the wrapper from her waist to tie the sack tightly. The old woman smiled, showing missing teeth. "You have a good heart, my child. Come back to this spot tomorrow morning. Alone. I have something for you." Ngozi laughed loud. "You see? Now you're friends with a mad woman. Maybe she'll give you a magic stick." But Adora didn't laugh. She just helped the woman to her feet and waved goodbye. That night, something strange happened. Adora had a dream. In the dream, the same old woman was standing in front of a glowing path inside the thick ogun forest. Her face looked younger. She wore a long red wrapper and golden beads. She said in a soft voice, "Come, Adora. Come alone. Your gift is ready." The next morning, while the sky was still dark, Adora woke up and tiptoed outside. She didn't tell anyone, not even Ngozi. She walked past the farms, past the stream, and stopped at the edge of Ogun Forest. No one went inside that forest. They said a widow lived there. A strange one. Her name was Madame Yoloma, but people now called her Aya Nwani and Cheetah, the woman of forgotten cries. She was always pregnant. No one had ever seen the man who made her so. Some said she made a deal with a spirit. Others said the baby in her belly was not even human. Every night, strange sounds came from the forest, like a baby crying, then laughing, then screaming. Those who tried to follow her trail never came back. The forest was feared. Everyone avoided it. But Adora was not afraid. Her heart told her to go. So she took her first step into the forest. It was dark. The trees were tall. Birds flew away as she walked. The wind whispered her name. "Adora! Adora!" Then she saw something glowing ahead. A small hut with smoke rising from the roof. Standing in front of it was the old woman. But she didn't look old anymore. Her skin was smooth. Her wrapper sparkled. She had a necklace made of lion's teeth. "You came," the woman said. "Because you helped me. I will help you. But first, you must be brave. Very brave." Adora nodded. Then the woman opened the hut door. What Adora saw inside made her eyes grow wide like the full moon. Inside the hut, everything was glowing. There was no fire, but the room was full of light. The walls were made of soft leaves that moved like they were breathing. In the middle of the hut, there was a round wooden table. On it sat a big clay pot. Smoke came out of it, but it smelled sweet, like honey and rain mixed together. The woman turned to Adora. "Look inside the pot," she said. Adora tiptoed to the table and looked in. Inside, she saw gold. Not just coins, but bracelets, earrings, and small statues made of pure, shining gold. They floated in the smoke like bubbles in water. She gasped, Is this real?" The woman smiled. "Yes, but it is not yours." "Not yet." Adora looked up. "What must I do?" The woman's eyes became serious. "You must promise me 3 things." "I promise," Adora said quickly. "Wait," the woman said. You must hear them first. If you break any of them, everything you gain will be taken back. Adora nodded. First, the woman said, you must never speak badly about anyone who is less than you, not even when others laugh. I can do that, Adora said. Second, the woman continued, you must share what you have. Money, food, even clothes. Always share. I already do that, Adora replied. Good, said the woman. And the last one is the hardest. Adora stood still. You must never return to this forest to ask for more. This gift is only given once. Adora nodded slowly. I understand. The woman smiled. Then hold out your hands. Adora stretched out her hands. The woman dipped her fingers into the pot and placed a tiny glowing seed in Adora's palm. This is called the Odo seed. Plant it in your backyard tonight. Water it only once with stream water. When the sun rises, you will understand. Adora held the seed tight and thanked the woman. As she turned to leave, the woman's voice came again, softer this time. Remember, child, some gifts come with watching eyes. The forest never forgets. Adora stepped out of the hut. The forest had gone quiet. Even the wind had stopped blowing. She walked quickly, and before long, she was back in her village. No one had seen her. That night, after everyone slept, Adora dug a small hole in her backyard and planted the Odo seed. She fetched water from the stream, just like the woman said, and poured only once. Then she went to sleep, but in the middle of the night, thunder struck the sky. The ground shook under her bed. Adora ran outside, and what she saw made her mouth fall open. In the same spot she planted the seed, a tall tree had grown. Not a normal tree. This one had silver leaves and golden fruit hanging from its branches. It sparkled in the moonlight like magic. She reached out and touched a fruit. It felt warm. She plucked one, and as soon as it left the branch, poof! The fruit turned into a small bag full of money. Real money! Naira notes. Clean and fresh. She plucked another. This one turned into golden earrings. Another one became a new wrapper with shiny embroidery. Adora stood there, eyes wide, heart racing. From that night, her life began to change. But what she didn't know was that someone else had followed her that morning. The next morning, Adora woke up early and ran to the backyard. The magic tree was still there, tall, beautiful, and full of golden fruit. She smiled and touched one gently. It turned into a small box. She opened it. Inside were sparkling new school books, pencils, and even a white clean uniform. Adora danced with joy. Her life was changing. She started plucking only one fruit a day. Every fruit gave her something useful: food, money, clothes, or even things for her mother, who was always tired from farming. Soon, their small mud house became strong and painted. They had clean water in front of the house, and even a fan that worked without electricity. But in the middle of all this joy, something dangerous was growing. Ngozi was watching. She had secretly followed Adora that morning when she went into the forest. She hid behind a thick bush and saw everything. The old woman, the glowing hut, the seed, everything. But she didn't hear the 3 promises. And now, Ngozi's eyes were burning with jealousy. She thinks she's better than me, Ngozi muttered. I will go and get my own seed. I want my own tree. So one dark morning, before the sun rose, Ngozi walked straight into the Ogun forest. She didn't greet anyone. She didn't say a prayer. She just marched in, her heart full of greed. The trees made no sound. The animals were silent. She reached the hut. The same old woman stood outside, but this time her face looked angry. You followed her, the woman said coldly. I want my own seed, Ngozi said. Give me one. I helped someone last year. The old woman narrowed her eyes. You do not understand the gift. I don't care, Ngozi said. If Adora can have a golden tree, I can too. The woman paused for a while, then slowly nodded. Fine, but the seed you will get will match the kind of heart you have. She dropped a black seed into Ngozi's hand. Ngozi smiled proudly and ran out of the forest. She didn't look back. She reached home and planted the seed. But she didn't use stream water. She used dirty water from a broken pot. She wanted fast results. That night, thunder struck again. In the morning, a tree had grown in her backyard too. But it was different. Its branches were dry. Its leaves were red like fire. Its fruit was black. Ngozi smiled anyway. She plucked one. It turned into money. Ha! She screamed. I knew it. But when she touched the money, it turned into dust. She plucked another fruit. It became a chicken, then suddenly turned into a snake and bit her finger. Ngozi screamed and ran back into her house. From that day, strange things started happening around her home. Snakes, scorpions, and black birds began to appear. People said her laughter now sounded like crying. Her mother cried every night. What did you bring into this house, Ngozi? But Ngozi said nothing. She was too afraid. Meanwhile, Adaora's fame spread. People from nearby villages came to see the girl who was suddenly rich, but still kind. She shared her wealth with the poor, gave to the sick, and even built a small school. They started calling her Adora the Golden Giver. But one night, as she slept peacefully, a strange noise came from the backyard. She opened her eyes and saw a shadow standing beside the golden tree. It was Madame Yoloma, the woman from the forest. But this time, her eyes were full of warning. Your gift is being watched, she whispered. Someone broke the rule. And now, the forest is angry. Adaora's heart beat fast. She sat up in her bed and looked at Madame Yoloma standing near the golden tree. The old woman's wrapper flowed like wind, but there was no breeze. What do you mean the forest is angry? Adora asked with a shaky voice. Madame Yoloma walked closer. Her eyes were glowing softly like the moon. Someone entered the forest with a greedy heart. She did not respect the promise. Now the forest must decide what to do. Adora swallowed hard. She knew it was Ngozi. But what can I do? She asked. You must stay pure, Madame Yoloma said. Keep your heart kind. Keep your hands clean. Share your gift. And be ready. Then she disappeared. No footsteps. No sound. Just the leaves of the golden tree moving gently. The next morning, something strange happened. The village well dried up. The elders called a meeting. It hasn't rained in weeks, one old man said. Even the river water tastes bitter. Then, children started falling sick with fevers that made them talk in their sleep. One boy, Uche, shouted in the night. She took the wrong fruit. The tree is crying. Another girl, F, said in her sleep. The forest wants it back. Give it back. People became afraid. They started whispering that Adaora's tree was causing the problem. They didn't know the truth about Ngozi. One angry man even said, Cut the tree down. Maybe the forest will stop. Adora cried and ran home. She held the golden tree and begged, Please don't let them hurt you. I did everything right. But she knew she had to speak to Madame Yoloma again. So that night, she wore her slippers, tied a small cloth over her hair, and walked alone into the Ogun forest. The wind howled this time. Branches scratched her arms. A voice whispered, You shouldn't be here. But she kept walking. She found the glowing hut again. Inside, Madame Yoloma sat by the pot of smoke. She looked sad. You came, she said. I had to, Adora said. The village is suffering. They think my tree caused it. But I know it was Ngozi. Madame Yoloma nodded. Yes, but only the forest can fix it now. Then how? Adora asked. Tell me what to do. I'll do anything. The old woman looked deep into the pot. The smoke changed color, from white to red to black. Then she said quietly, You must find the second seed, the cleansing seed. It is hidden in the mouth of the oldest statue in your village. Take it before sunrise. Plant it in the center of the market. Water it with your own tears. Adora's eyes widened. My tears? Yes, Madame Uloma said. Only pure sorrow can break the curse. Adora nodded slowly. I'll do it, she whispered. She turned to leave the hut. But this time, a black bird was watching her from a tree. It flapped its wings once, then flew off toward Ngozi's house. Because now, the forest had begun to wake up. Adora rushed back home through the forest. Her legs were shaking, and her hands were cold. But her heart was strong. She knew what she had to do. Before the first rooster crowed, Adora crept into the village square. The moon was still high, and the stars looked like small eyes watching her. She ran straight to the oldest statue in the village, a tall carved figure of the great hunter Oba Chinidu. The statue had been there even before her grandmother was born. Adora climbed onto the stone base and reached for the mouth of the statue. Her fingers touched something. It felt round, hard, like a seed. She pulled it out. It glowed. The cleansing seed. Just as she climbed down, she heard movement. Someone was watching her. She looked behind the statue. It was Ngozi. Her eyes were wide, and her wrapper was loose like she had been running. You think you're better than me, Ngozi said in a low voice. You want to save the village? After all, they praised you and forgot about me. Adora took a step back. Ngozi, please. This seed is not about me or you. The whole village is suffering. Ngozi moved closer. Give me the seed. I'll plant it myself. I want the power this time. Adora shook her head. This one is not for riches. It's for healing. But Ngozi didn't care. She rushed at Adora. The two girls fell to the ground struggling. The seed rolled across the ground and stopped near the market drum. Suddenly, lightning flashed. A loud voice echoed from the sky. Enough! Both girls froze. The earth shook. A deep crack opened in the middle of the market. The seed rolled into the crack. A soft hum came from the ground. Then, a small green plant began to grow, right from inside the crack. It grew and grew until it stood taller than the girls. Its leaves sparkled like stars. A soft wind circled around it. Ngozi stepped back in fear. Adora stood still. Then tears rolled down her face. She remembered how her village once laughed. How her mother used to sing while pounding yam. How the elders told stories at night. Her tears fell onto the roots of the new tree. The leaves turned golden. The wind stopped. The ground closed. The air became sweet again. Somewhere far off, a baby stopped crying. The sick children began to sleep peacefully. The village well made a bubbling sound. Water was coming back. Adora looked up. The tree shimmered. A soft light glowed at the top branch. And then, something shiny dropped from it. A golden box. Adora picked it up. On it were the words, "To the one who stayed pure." She opened it, and what she saw inside will be revealed in the next part. Adora's hands shook as she opened the golden box. Inside, there was something small and round, a black stone, shiny like glass, with a red mark that looked like a flame. Next to it was a rolled-up paper tied with palm leaves. She opened the paper slowly. The writing was neat, like someone had taken their time. It said, "This is the heart of the forest. With it, the earth will bless you. But do not use it for greed. Feed the hungry. Build homes. Heal the land. If you break this rule, the forest will return to take everything." Adora blinked fast. Her chest felt warm, like something good had entered her heart. The moment she held the black stone in both hands, a soft voice whispered in her ear, "You have been chosen." Suddenly, lights burst from the tree behind her. The golden tree in the market began to drop fruits, but not just any fruit. One looked like yam, but golden. One looked like pepper, but it glowed like fire. One looked like a coconut, but silver water spilled out from inside. People began to wake up. From their houses, they saw the light and rushed to the market. Men, women, and children ran barefoot, their eyes wide with wonder. They saw the tree. They saw Adora. They saw her holding the black stone. They fell to their knees. "It's her!" someone shouted. "Adora saved us." Old Mama Nkechi, who never smiled, wiped tears from her eyes. "Adora is the one," she said. The forest chose her, but Ngozi was gone. No one saw where she ran to. Some say she entered the forest and never came back. Others say the wind carried her away. But Adora, she used the gifts well. She gave golden yams to hungry families. She used the silver water to heal the sick. She didn't keep the riches for herself. She built a big school. She built clean wells. Soon, people from other villages came to see the magic tree. Traders brought money. Adora became the richest girl in the land, but she stayed kind. And every year, on the day she helped Madame Yuloma with oranges, the golden tree dropped a single flower. A flower that sang. But one day, something strange happened. A small boy entered the market crying. He was holding an orange with red juice. He said, "A woman with no face gave this to me near the forest. She said, 'Take this to the girl who helped me once.'" Adora stood still. Her hands turned cold, because she knew Madame Yuloma had returned. Adora looked at the orange in the boy's hand. The juice on his fingers was red, too red, almost like blood. The boy stood in front of her, shaking. "She said you would understand," he whispered. The whole market went quiet. Even the birds stopped singing. Adora slowly walked to the boy. She knelt down and took the orange. It felt warm, like it had just been plucked, but there were no orange trees in the market. Suddenly, the golden tree behind her gave a soft hum. The leaves moved without wind. Everyone stepped back. Adora looked around and spoke, her voice soft but clear. "Where did the woman go?" The boy pointed toward the forest. "She said, 'She'll wait near the river.' But I was afraid to follow her." Adora nodded. She stood up and turned to the people. "I have to go." "No!" Mama Nkechi cried out. "The Ogun forest is still sacred. Even with all your riches, that place swallows people." "I must go," Adora said. "She gave me the first orange. I have to see her." The elders begged. Children cried. But Adora was firm. Before she left, she gave the heart of the forest, the black stone, to a trusted elder named Baba Okon. "Keep it safe," she said. "If I don't return, plant it again." Then, holding the red-juiced orange in one hand and a small calabash of river water in the other, she walked alone toward the thick Ogun forest. As she got closer, the trees became taller. The sky turned gray. The air smelled different, old, like ancient things were watching her. She heard whispers. Some were calling her name. Some were laughing like children. But she kept walking. Finally, she reached the riverbank. And there, sitting on a smooth black stone, was Madame Yuloma. But she didn't look like before. Her eyes were glowing white. She had no face, just smooth, clear skin where her eyes, nose, and mouth should be. Yet somehow, Adora knew she was smiling. "My child," the voice came, not from a mouth, but from the air around her. "You came." Adora nodded. "Why did you send the orange?" The faceless woman stood up slowly. Her wrapper floated like mist. "Because the time has come," she said. You helped me when no one else would. Now I will show you the truth about the child I carried, about the forest, about why you were chosen." Then she reached out her hand. "Come, let me show you who you really are." Adora swallowed hard. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. Adora placed her hand in Madame Yuloma's. It felt cold and soft, like morning dew on a banana leaf. As soon as their hands touched, the river behind them turned golden. The water bubbled and rose, spinning like a small storm. Then it became still again, and a bright path appeared on the water. "Walk with me," Madame Yuloma said. Adora followed her across the glowing path. Each step felt like floating. Birds with silver feathers flew above them, singing softly. Trees along the river bent their heads like they were greeting Adora. The air smelled sweet, like ripe mangoes and rain. At the end of the path, there was a wide clearing. In the middle stood a tall tree with bark as dark as night and leaves shaped like hands. Beneath it, a small boy sat, but his skin glowed like the moon. He looked up and smiled at Adora. "Who is he?" she asked. Madame Yuloma's voice was calm. "He is the child I carried, the one they feared, the one they called not human." The boy stood and walked toward Adora. "I know you," he said softly. "You gave my mother oranges when she was tired. You were kind. That kindness saved the forest." Adora's eyes widened. "But what are you?" "I am the keeper's son," he replied, "born of spirit and sorrow. My father is the soul of Ogun Forest. My mother is the last woman to speak with the gods. Together, they gave me to protect the land." Adora took a step back. "Why am I here?" Madame Yuloma smiled gently. "Because you are the chosen helper. You have a gift many have forgotten, compassion. The heart of the forest answered you because of your heart." The boy touched Adora's forehead with his glowing finger, and in a blink, she saw visions. She saw her helping the old woman. She saw Ngozi laughing. She saw the golden tree blooming. She saw people dancing, eating, smiling. And then she saw something terrible. A shadow covering the forest. Flames. Crying voices. The golden tree burning. Adora gasped. The boy looked serious. "That is what will come, if you do not stop what is coming." "What is coming?" she asked. But before the boy could answer, the ground began to shake. Thunder rolled across the sky. Madame Yuloma's face turned to the trees. "They are here," she said in a quiet voice. "Those who seek to cut down the forest for wealth. They are coming with fire and machines." Adora's heart raced. "What can I do?" Madame Yuloma looked into her eyes. "You must choose, protect the forest or lose everything." The boy stepped closer. "You are no longer just a girl," he whispered. "You are the guardian now." Adora's legs felt weak. She stared at the boy. "Guardian? But I'm just a girl from the village." The boy's eyes glowed brighter. "You are not just anything anymore." The trees around them began to hum, soft at first, then louder. Birds flew out, frightened. The ground shook again. Madame Yuloma stepped forward and opened her hand. Inside was a small, dark seed. "Take this," she said. "It is called Okenife, the seed of love. Only the guardian can plant it." Adora touched the seed. It felt alive, like a heartbeat. "But where do I plant it?" she asked. The boy pointed toward the village. "In the heart of your people, where greed is growing." Adora looked around. "They won't believe me. They'll think I'm mad." Madame Yuloma smiled gently. "It doesn't matter what they believe. What matters is the truth you carry." Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed from the forest edge. Adora turned. She could see smoke rising, trees falling, loud engine sounds, chainsaws. Men from the city had arrived, just like the vision showed. They were cutting down the sacred trees. destroying homes of spirits. The forest was crying. Edora's eyes burned with tears. No, we're too late. The boy held her hand. Not yet. Then he turned and began to sing. The song was soft, like a lullaby. But the trees responded. Their leaves shook. Roots lifted. Animals began to gather. Monkeys, birds, even antelopes. Madame Uloma joined the song. Adora listened. The song filled her chest. She opened her mouth and began to sing too. Her voice was louder than she thought. It echoed across the trees, across the river, into the village. In the market square, people stopped. Ngozi, who once laughed at her, looked up confused. That sounds like Adora. Children held their ears. It's coming from the forest. The golden tree in the village glowed brighter. And then boom! A light shot up from the forest, into the sky like a rainbow made of fire. Everyone saw it. Everyone heard the song. Back in the forest, Madame Uloma turned to Adora. Now go. Return to the village. Plant the seed. Speak the truth. Adora nodded. She held the seed close to her heart and ran. Adora ran as fast as her legs could carry her. Branches scratched her arms, but she didn't stop. Leaves flew past her face. The forest seemed to open a path just for her, guiding her home. She held the Okenife seed tightly in her hand. It was warm now, like it had its own heartbeat. When she finally reached the edge of the forest, she saw the smoke. Big machines were already near the village farms. Men in helmets shouted and waved tools. Trees were falling one by one. People gathered and watched in silence, too afraid to speak. Adora burst into the crowd, her hair wild, her face dirty, but her eyes full of fire. "Stop them!" she shouted. Ngozi saw her and frowned. "So you're back? From the haunted forest?" "Listen to me," Adora said. "They are destroying something bigger than trees. The forest is alive. It speaks. It protects us. If we don't stop them now, we will all suffer." The villagers murmured. An elder stepped forward. "What are you saying, Adora?" She opened her hand and showed the glowing seed. "This is Okenife, the seed of love. It can save our land, but only if we believe." Ngozi rolled her eyes. "So now you're a forest princess, eh? Maybe you should go marry a monkey." Some people laughed. But then the ground shook. Boom! The light from the forest shot into the sky again, even brighter than before. A strong wind blew through the village. The golden tree in the village square lit up. Its leaves turned silver. Everyone gasped. The chief stepped forward, holding his staff. This is a sign." He turned to Adora. "Child, where do we plant the seed?" Adora pointed to the middle of the village square, right under the golden tree. The chief nodded. They dug a small hole. Adora bent down and gently placed the seed in the earth. She whispered, "Grow with love. Protect us." As soon as she covered it with soil, the ground began to glow. A soft hum filled the air. The golden tree above them dropped 3 golden fruits. Everyone stared. One of the fruits rolled toward Adora. She picked it up. It turned into a scroll in her hands. She opened it and gasped. Her name was written at the top, and below it a map to something hidden deep in the forest. Chief Bamadil looked at the scroll. "It is a gift. You must follow it." Adora held the scroll close and nodded. She was no longer just a girl. She was the guardian now, and the journey was just beginning.